Hi.
Okay, hi.
It's
We
our
are
first webinar. So this is going to be interesting. There seems to be a little bit of a delay, and
There definitely is a delay.
so yeah.
So bear with us.
So we'll just have to work around that delay and whatnot. But let's get started. Let's get rolling. It's time. We're super excited.
Yeah, I know. I'm so excited. But if you don't mind, like, I want to hear from the people that are maybe on the chat that everything's working. So if you don't mind, scroll down on the webpage that you're at watching the webinar. And if you don't mind, type in the chat window and let us know that you see and can hear us. Because again, this is our first time doing this. You're all part of our pilot group, and we appreciate it.
So you don't have to log in either. You can set up a temporary name and then just type in and hit enter and just give us, just say, hey, we're here. But then there might be a little bit of a delay here.
And we'll be really patient.
Mostly just want to know if you can hear us okay? If our sound is good.
Yay!
Yay!
NW439. I can see and hear you.
NW439.
Jen, awesome.
That's awesome. NW439, that's a very awesome
is that Nikki?
Name.
Nikki Wolf?
And I wonder if Jen is my Jen Robinson.
Oh, yeah.
Could be.
Say. We were doing some perusing of maybe who was registered for the webinar, who's going to show up tonight.
So we're excited that you're here and that the sound is working and everything's good. It's really fun to be here with you. And who's starting?
Well, we already welcomed everybody for joining. So this is Lisa, and I'm Ra. And together we are launching Body Redesign. So it's a proven formula for fat loss. And tonight we're going to talk about our 5 seriously simple rules for fat loss, our secret to success, the 80-20 principle, and close out with an offer on how to join us and save some moolah by joining this webinar tonight. And then just a reminder along the way, we're going to pause for some questions. So feel free to chat in the window at any time, questions that you have and things that you want to discuss as we go through our spiel. But to start, we wanted to kind of talk about who we are and what we know about fat loss and methods for a sustainable, healthy lifestyle. So a little bit about Lisa.
So yes, I've been fighting for 2 decades. It's crazy to think it's been that long. And I still fight on the U.S. kickboxing team. And for me, making weight has been a thing for the last 20 years in my life. So I fight at a really small weight, and I don't live at that weight. And one of the things that I discovered when I went pro is that nutrition was a huge, huge piece to making weight and being on point with my weight. And over the course of a number of years, I developed a particular way of following my eating, nutrition program that I lived and died by, that helped me drop massive amounts of weight before a fight. So I'd sometimes be, walking around like 15 pounds over my weight, and I'd have 6 weeks to make weight for a fight. And so really what Body Redesign is made up of a lot of those guidelines and the things that I used to get ready for a fight and be able to get ripped and in shape. And, you don't have to do this program. You don't have to fight. You don't have to have a fight after you're done. You just this is a really amazing way to lean out your body and do it with a minimum effective dose. And what I mean by minimum effective dose is just the least amount of effort. Like, I was so tired training all the time. I just didn't have time to think about food so much. So this program is so simple. And that's my experience with Body Redesign.
Yeah, and the beauty of this relationship and us partnering together is that I'm not a fighter, but I have gone through my own fat loss journey and really turned my body from, I would say, kind of like a fat skinny. Like I always had sort of like a lean belly, but I didn't eat the right things. And I started competing on stage about 4.5 years ago as a fitness competitor, and really transitioned through nutrition and then just feeling better as a source of that work. I literally rotated between mac and cheese, spaghetti, etc. And so it was a huge shift for me to go to a balanced diet that was made up of protein and vegetable really based. And I've learned a lot through that journey. And so the beauty is that we're now partnering on a system that we know is proven both for ourselves and for others. So we're excited to share that with you today. All right. And so the words seriously simple and fat loss don't seem to go together. It's hard, right? It's really because we complicate it. Our diets and the way maybe we were raised are set. And so that, therefore, those are kind of our habits. Though there are go-tos. We may eat out of emotions. And so what Lisa and I have developed are 5 seriously simple rules, and we're going to cover those today. And again, our mantra is to really try to keep it simple, but also 5 mantras or rules to live by as you navigate your environment. Everybody's got their own thing kind of habit-wise and in their environment that make things difficult. And so our role is really to help pave the way by providing 5, what we consider 5 easy to follow rules, but then help you also navigate through that. And that's really how to kind of join up with us and what we provide in terms of service to the people that are with us.
So we're going to do a screen share right now, and we're going to get into these rules a little bit because I know you want to get started. You want to know, okay, seriously, how can it possibly be simple? But we're going to share that with you now. So this is, again, trial by error. But what should be on the screen for you right now is the 5 seriously simple rules. So just enter into your chat box. Yes, I see those rules if you see them. And there is this awesome delay situation happening. So it might take us a second before you say it, but I'm going to get into this a little bit. The 5 seriously simple rules. We're going to start with number 1, which is eat protein and vegetables. Now, this is literally like live and die by this rule, okay? It's so easy to follow because if it's a protein or a vegetable, you can ingest it. Now, there's lean proteins that are going to be the best choices, right? Chicken, fish, turkey, lean beef, right? And there's vegetables also that are going to be best choices, like dark leafy green vegetables are great. The one thing that we do steer away from, and we kind of is a vegetable, what we pop it into the carb category, is the potatoes. Oh, thank you. Yeah, I forgot. We have more. We have more. Okay.
We have what Lisa's talking about.
We have what I'm talking about. That works. The slideshow. So as you can see on the right, you want to load up. These are your primary fuel sources. This is what you eat as much of this as you need. That's the best part. Like, if you feel hungry, you get to eat more protein, more vegetables. There's not a like how much is too much kind of experience, right? Especially if you're eating really clean protein and vegetables. So we really watch out where we buy our vegetables and our proteins. Like, we try to go local, sustainable, organic whenever we can, right? And then we want to use, minimal amounts of sauces and oils and extra additives like spices, herbs, sea salt. Those are perfect. That's great. A little bit of olive oil or avocado oil, some of those oils that are healthier, those are great. But you really want to focus on getting the protein and the vegetables without a lot of extra stuff. So you think about, just a nice plate of grilled vegetables, right? And if you're full, when you're done, but then later on you want more, you can have more. And you don't have to think, well, I already had my serving, I can't have more. This is where it's so easy and it gets so clear too, because what'll happen is you'll say to yourself sometimes when you're on the program, you'll be like, well, I'm hungry. And then you're like, okay, well, I can have protein and vegetables. Whenever I'm hungry, I know that I can have protein and vegetables. And what'll happen is in your head, your body, you'll say, well, I don't really want that. I'd rather have
potato chips.
Potato chips. That sounds great. Yes, potato chips sounds great. Well, you know, like then you're not really hungry, right? I don't, you know, like if you can't say you're going to sit down to a nice plate of vegetables and, you know, chicken breast, you're not actually hungry. At this point now, it's your brain that you want to feed and your emotions that you want to feed instead of your body. And really what we want to focus on is fueling the body. So should we take questions on just the first rule to start?
I was going to pause towards the end, if
okay.
That's right.
Yeah, that's perfect. So we're going to move right into the second rule, and Ra's going to explain that one.
And this is the rule against potato chips, actually. So rule number 2 is eat carbs sparingly. Originally, we had talked about this rule as avoid carbs, but the at least a mantra that I live by is that carbs are good. It's just the right type. So trying to focus on complex carbohydrates. We have some listed as examples. And to kind of have 3 sub-rules around this one. So really avoid processed refined foods such as your potato chip, as well as white or processed style carbs, which would be like spaghetti, for example. The beauty of the picture within this rule is that it's made from our garbanzo beans. So it's a garbanzo bean crust for pizza, and all of that stuff in that picture is BRD approved. And then don't drink your carbs. So just with elimination of soda, alcohols, and fruit juices, people can see dramatic results in the shifts of their body. And so that's an important one there. And then really to focus on carbs before noon for optimal results. So generally, I try to avoid carbs in the evening. And so that's kind of our third sub-rule around that. And then really try to focus on 1 fruit per day at a max. So yes, fruits are good, but they are certainly high in sugar, and they can really spike your overall blood sugar. So important to just know when to get your carbs and what are the carbs that are best. And within the program itself, we have a grocery list that kind of lays out, or an ingredients list that lays out BRD approved foods. And we'll get into that. Okay, so we saw a note from Deb. I can see and hear you, but I had to stop the live session and go back in the screen to type in the chat box. I don't know if anybody else is having that issue.
Is anybody else, are you able to just scroll down and type in the chat box while watching the live video? Oh, are you, Deb, you might be, are you on full screen instead of just watching it watching the video like in the page? Or yeah, you might be on mobile too, I guess.
We will figure out what's going on with Deb, but as long as the others are ready, we're going to proceed.
Yeah.
So the third rule is around keep meal planning simple and integrate meal planning into your life, because planning is essential to hitting your goals and staying on track. And so, for example, we have Sunday typically as a meal prep day around our house. And so identify a day that you know that you can focus on prepping your meals. And the beauty of BRD is that it comes with beautiful recipes that you can make up on Sunday and that'll last you through the week. The other rule that we have here is to integrate isogenics. Isogenics can really save you on your meal prep days and can provide you 2 protein and nutrient-based meals per day. And that's something that we'll get into. And then also, again, using the recipes. So we have a load of healthy recipes that'll help keep your meal prep straightforward. And rule number 4, Lisa's going to go into workouts.
Yeah, I just want to stay on that second, the keep meal planning simple, that preparation is so key. And truly, if you follow the recipes that we give you and you eat out of the book, eat out of the program for the first 5 weeks, it's really a no fail. Like I've never seen anyone not drop and not succeed when they followed to letter the recipes that are laid out in the book and followed that. So really using those recipes is a huge deal. They're all very simple to make, and
the beauty is that they're tasty.
Yes, they're good. It's not
nourishing.
Yeah, you're not like, oh, healthy. Oh, it's actually really good. I love the recipes. Okay, so I am going to tell you about keeping workout simple. And this is perfect rule for me to share with you because I pretty much hate working out. Like, I'm just not a huge fan of it. Now, I like to rollerblade. I like to kickbox. I like to go to yoga. Those things are fun for me, but like the idea of going into the gym and, running on the treadmill or running around the lake or spending a lot of time working out really intensely, it's not a thing for me. I don't love it. And it's a good thing because it's not where you get your results. You get your results from following your nutrition. So the best part about these workouts that we offer, we keep them simple, and they're 10 minutes, and they are intense. They're extremely intense workouts, but they only last for 10 minutes. You can do anything for 10 minutes, right? I mean, just say, yes, I can do anything for 10 minutes. If you agree with me, you pop that into the chat box. And your workouts are set up so that you just do 3 times a week, 10 minutes. So you're literally spending 30 minutes a week in your workout time. Let me repeat that. 30 minutes a week in your workout time. You don't need to go to the gym for it. So you're going to be able to use your body weight for most of the exercises, or pretty much all the exercises. And we're going to increase your cardio with the workout videos too. But the thing to know is that the nutrition is the key. Now, I was just talking to my friend Jen, and she was telling me she just started CrossFit. I think she's here with us on the webinar today. And she was saying she had just started CrossFit and she really loved it. I think that's awesome. If you have a workout that you do and you love, that's fabulous. Now, if you don't have time for working out, or you feel like it's not your favorite thing and you don't prioritize it, know that setting up with these 10-minute workouts 3 times a week is going to be, you're going to get results. Why this works is because we get into an anaerobic threshold. And when you get into an anaerobic threshold, you burn killer calories for the rest of the day. So your fat burning and your metabolism rate is set way higher than it would be, let's say, if you went out and you did a 30-minute run or a 45-minute run. So people are like, I need to work out longer to get the benefit and get the results. This is, again, minimum effective dose here. So spend less time working out, make the workout more intense, and what you'll end up with is a larger calorie burn and a larger calorie deficit by the end of the day. So the keep workout short and simple is a key piece to this, and especially, like I said, if it's not a thing for you, we really want you to be focusing on nutrition. We're going to talk more about how you're going to get most of your results from the nutrition in a little bit.
The fifth and possibly the favorite rule is one to live by, and it's really to relax the rules 1 day per week, to give yourself and your head space to celebrate the discipline that you have earned throughout the week. And at this point really is where you can start to schedule some outings with friends where you might want to eat that not so healthier garbanzo pizza, and at least give back and celebrate the hard work that you've put in. Again, we don't want you to fall off the wagon completely, so we give you 1 day, and the emphasis is really on relax. So again, integrate some of those things that you've been really dying to have, but recognize the fact that the next day you are back on target, and you need to continue to plan out the rest of your week. But we think this is really an important one because it's not about eliminating everything, and it's not about making yourself unhealthy or unhappy because you're so focused on discipline. Again, to be sustainable, we feel like you need to celebrate the wins. And I don't know if you have anything else to say on this one,
absolutely. I totally agree. Free day I'm all about it.
Yeah.
I live for free day. I love that day, just getting to enjoy, and within reason, once a week.
And Ash, I saw your comment. It's not my favorite thing, so this sounds great. I would assume that you're referring to the workouts, so that's awesome. And popcorn with hot tamales in it. Nikki, that's your one day per week.
That's free day food for sure. Should we go back to screen for a moment?
Yes, we should.
Ask some questions. Okay,
yeah. So here we're going to pause for some questions we've unveiled.
We're back.
And I'm anon now. I was raw. But we do want to open up for questions just on kind of those 5 rules in general. Is there anything that we kind of covered in terms of the topic that you want to delve more deeply into, or is it just crystal clear, super easy? Why do we overcomplicate it?
Yeah, I know that the whole idea behind this Seriously Simple is really to keep it simple. The more questions we ask about it, the more complicated we make it. But you know, when you're first starting out with this, I'm sure if you have a few questions, just enter them into the chat box right now, and we're gonna answer them for you, because that's something we can do. Can answer your questions.
Okay, we're pretty good at that. We can maybe, while the questions are coming in, because there is kind of a delay, we could start to go into the 80-20 principle and our secret to fat loss success. And Lisa is a
I get to riff.
Yeah,
That's what the script
you're
says.
a riffer.
The script says I get to riff for 60 seconds or so.
So meanwhile,
she doesn't know. Like, she should know me by now. It says riff for 60 seconds or so. That should actually be like riff for like 3 minutes or so.
Only 30 seconds.
Only get 60 seconds.
So feel free, as Lisa is ripping, to provide any of your questions just on the 5 rules that we covered before.
So the big thing with the whole setup for body redesign, the 5 rules, what we're getting at is an 80-20 principle. 80-20 principle, or Pareto's or 80-20 principle, which is better known as Pareto's principle. And what it is it's basically saying that 80% of my results of what I want to experience, 80% of what I want to experience, I'm going to get from like 20% of what I'm doing, right? And so you want to put that right effort into the 20%. We've got to actually, let's go into screen share. Yeah, because we've got something I'm going to show. Yeah, we don't have any questions coming in yet.
Just some sweetness on the popcorn and tamales.
That sounds so good. Popcorn and hot tamales. I'd have to try that.
We need to do that for our movie date.
I might read it. I love it. Okay, so we're going to go back to screen share, because it makes a little bit more sense when I show you this graph. Cool. Yeah. Okay, so this graph here is an example of somebody's real live results that they experienced taking 1/2 of our program for 1 week and the other half of our program for another week. So the first week she did nutrition only. All she did was follow the body redesign rules, the guidelines. She didn't do any exercise at all. I'm going to repeat that. She didn't do any exercise at all for 1 week. All she did was focus on following the nutrition rules. So technically she didn't follow all the rules, because one of the rules is keep your workout short and simple. She went 0. That doesn't get any simpler than that. She did no working out, and she spent 1.2 hours on her food prep. So remember, our 3rd rule is keep meal planning simple. So the idea is that you have a grocery list, you know what you're going to make for the week, your food gets prepared all at one time, so it's in the fridge, it's ready to go, so you're not caught in no man's land. That's the worst place to be, where you're starving and you have nothing to eat, right? So, and Ra will talk a little bit, I think, about isogenics too, a little more, but that's one of the reasons we love isogenics too, because you're never caught in no man's land if you have, a shake that you can put together. So she spent 1.2 hours on her food prep. Now, at the end of the week, she had lost 1.6 pounds. So just notice this again. She spent 1.2 hours on food prep, and she lost 1.6 pounds. Okay, so the second week, she focused just on exercise. She did not follow our food guidelines. She just ate normal, like carbs, all the foods, right, without following any sort of any food program. She just ate what she wanted. But she exercised. She's like, I'm going to eat whatever I want. I'm going to exercise 4.8 hours. She exercised. So she put in basically a 50-minute workout every day of the week, right? Monday through Friday. And she lost
I just need to, sorry, I'm gonna interrupt you.
0.4 pounds. So, yeah.
One pause. So they said that they were just still seeing the 5 rules.
Oh, is that better then?
I was going to try to let you finish, and then I was like,
okay, yeah. Yeah, it helps if you can see this graph because it's pretty mind-blowing. Just as you like to actually see where you're going to experience the shift. So she spent 4.8 hours exercising and only lost 0.4 pounds. So now she has 6 hours that she's put in. Like if you put the two together, nutrition, exercise, she spent a total of 6 hours and lost 2 pounds. People are still not seeing the graph?
Still just seeing, yep.
Weird. Well, that's a bummer.
Oh,
you see it? Okay, great. So this is the 80-20 principle, the 80-20 lifestyle in action. As you can see, that's why I said you don't like exercise, no problem. We don't want you to spend 4.8 hours in the gym exercising. That's not where you're going to maximize your fat loss. Where you're going to maximize your fat loss is in your 1.2 to 2 hours of prep time. So sometimes it might take you a little longer than 1 hour or 1.5 hours to do your prep at the beginning of the week, but we highly recommend that you look at you look at our recipe book, you figure out a couple recipes that you're going to make in advance. All of our recipes in the book are set up for the body redesign lifestyle, which means any of the salads, they're going to hold for the week. Any of the proteins, any of the vegetables, any of the breakfast dishes, they're going to hold for the week in your fridge. So you make them at the beginning of the week so you have food for the whole week. And you're focusing on the nutrition. The nutrition is where you lose the fat. And then the exercise, then when we pop in that exercise, I just want to mention that her 4.8 hours, she was running, okay? So she lost 0.4 pounds and she was running that much. Now, I think even when you add in our 10-minute workouts and you do 3 10-minute workouts, you're going to maximize your fat loss because you're doing the high-intensity workout for 10 minutes and you're blasting your metabolism. So you're actually burning more fat even than you would in that. We don't have a separate graph that shows the difference in 4.8 hours of exercise versus 30 minutes. But if we did a separate study like that, I'm sure we would come up with incredible results too, because just that little amount of time that's spent working out, but upping the ante and upping your rate of perceived exertion makes a huge difference. So does this make sense? I guess I want to ask you and to pop in the chat box, are you understanding this 80-20 lifestyle? This 80-20 lifestyle is also a huge piece of it is that's why we do a single free day. Because what happens is 6 days out of the week, you're eating really clean. And then one day you get to indulge in the foods that you love. You get to eat ice cream. You get to have a beer. You get to have popcorn and hot tamales. You get to do that once a week. But what happens is since you're doing that on one concentrated day, what ends up is that you're eating about 85% of the time you're eating clean, and then you have that little 15% where you're not. And what happens is because you're doing the 80-20, you're going to experience the maximum results versus, I'll have a little bit this day, I'll have a little bit this day, a little bit this day, which can work, but it's got to be a little tiny bit every day. We don't recommend that in the beginning. I don't know if are we going to talk about that a little bit?
No, but it's something to get to.
Yeah.
It's in our book in terms of examples.
Yeah, so if you get the book, we talk about another way of practicing the 80-20, but definitely for the first 5 weeks, we say follow the program 6 days on, 1 day, relax the rules 1 day, because that's where at the end of 5 weeks, you're going to have really great results.
Yeah, so do you want to pan back to us?
Sure.
All right, let us know if we're having any other difficulties, but here we are again. Hello. We're still here.
Hi.
We're wavers. So question might be in your mind, okay, what's next, or how do you join up with us? So we have two options available today. One is the Jumpstart Plus program, and then the other is the 360-degree program. I'm gonna start by talking about the Jumpstart Plus program. And when you navigate to our webpage, you'll see a third option. We're gonna get to that as well. So the Jumpstart Plus program really goes into our secret for fat loss success that we've already covered here today. But more than that, it provides you the workouts. So the workouts that you can do for those 10 minutes 3 times a week. And also with that program, you'll get 50 incredibly delicious recipes to help keep meal planning simple and focus on protein and veggies. So all of the recipes that we've been talking about that provide you support. As well, I mean, eating out, traveling, all of that stuff gets complicated, right? So we have tips in the book that are tailored around those particular things as well.
Yeah, whole section for eating out and staying on the program. It's not as hard as it seems. Nothing is, I guess. Well, it's not as complicated as you might think. It's a great program, I think, Jumpstart Plus, for someone who just needs a little bit to implement. Like, just give me the guidelines, give me the tips and all the pieces in the recipe. We've got the workouts and work success sheets and all of that come in. So you get this whole book, right? And you're really good at implementing for yourself. If you need a little more guidance and you're like, okay, so I do these things, I get this information, and then it just sits there and I don't do anything with it. If you're one of those types of people, then you're going to find that the Body Redesign 360-degree program is a better fit for you. The Body Redesign 360-degree program is 5 weeks of guided support. So every week you get a new menu. That menu comes with a grocery list for the week. So all of the things that you have to pick up at the grocery store. It comes with all directions cooking. So you just follow through and you're like, here, brown the ground beef, do this, all of the pieces, you follow through it, right? You still get the workouts, but there's also a little piece of like questions at the beginning of the week to keep you engaged and interacting. And both programs come with a year of private support from Ra and me. So we have a private Facebook community where we'll answer your questions, we'll be offering fun little challenges and workouts and pieces in the community, and also basically anything that you've got, you bring to the table. Like I had 5 pounds of weight loss on the first week and now I've stalled. What's going on, right? And we'll be able to get in there and answer your questions for the program. So the two, essentially, Jumpstart Plus and 360, the difference between them is really just the Jumpstart's a little bit more self-guided, and the Body Redesign 360 is there's more support guiding you through the 5 weeks. Every week, getting new emails, getting your reminder to check your membership, to look at your grocery list, to get your groceries, to come back to the Facebook community and tell us when you cooked all of your recipes. Because that's the other thing, we really want to support you. So anytime you come into the community with us and you're like, hey, I had my first week, I cooked all my food, I've been eating it all week, we're just going to be there to lift you up, to support you. So.
Yeah, and we're also talking about just some different ways to recognize people that are just like hitting the mark and they're leading the way, because we want to celebrate all of your successes.
Yeah.
So if you click on the link in the bottom right-hand corner of your lead pages page, which is the live webinar, and it says pick up our program today, it's in orange. If you click on that link, you'll navigate to our 2 options that are available today, as well as a third option within the Body Redesign program that we're working on around executive coaching. So we really want to take those that are proving themselves at the level that, they're sustainable, they've got the healthy lifestyle. We really want to kick it up a notch and help them to get to that next level where they're really ambassadors for Body Redesign. They're at the point where they have maybe integrated isogenics into their lifestyle or are ready to, and help others really reach a level of success. And so we kind of want those people that are really paving the way. And so we're building that program right now.
Yeah.
It's in the works, quite honestly, and we hope to have it available very soon.
Yeah.
But that's kind of our next step.
Yeah, if that's something that you said that you might be interested in, we have a little, it takes you to a little contact form so that we'll keep you on notice when things come together. But for sure, one of the two, the Jumpstart Plus or the Body Redesign, to really get in there and do the program and get the results and see how it works for you. This is our launch webinar, and you're here, and I mean, just grateful.
Yay,
And
totally.
before the webinar started, I was like, what if nobody comes?
I'm
Rob was
so
like,
scared.
it's gonna be fun. I was like, what if nobody comes? She's like, look, if nobody comes, nobody comes. We'll just talk.
And look, our
We're just
beautiful
like, I
friends
know,
have
we're so
come.
happy. So we have a discount for you today. And Rob's going to type that into the chat box, but it's a capital BRD, yes, and then lowercase webinar. And if you go to whichever product you want to choose, you go into the checkout page. There'll be a little coupon code area, and you enter in that coupon code, and it's going to give you $9.99 off of whatever product you choose to buy today. So it's available right now. The discount is, but it is not. It's not an ongoing discount. We're going to keep it live for I don't know, a week or so, like before we take it down. But we just really wanted to express our gratitude for you for being here, and we're just excited about getting people engaged and involved in the body redesign lifestyle. So, do we have other pieces? Are there?
That was pretty much it, but we do have a question from Nikki in the chat window.
Perfect.
So if you can't get to 10 minutes and 3 times a week, can you do a 20-minute in one day?
So that's a great question. You can, but what I would actually recommend is that you stick with the 10 minutes, and then you do so let's say you have, instead of 3 times a week, you only have 2 days that you can do, right? What I would recommend is that you do 2 days at 10 minutes, and then on that third day, do the 10 minutes, right? The thing about it is, and this is what happens, the high intensity interval workouts, they're set up to be really not sustainable past much more than 10 minutes. We shot, can I tell the story?
Testimony, you will be struggling at the 10 minutes.
And had you worked out that day that we shot those videos? Had you already worked out?
No, but we had traveled, so it was when we were in Croatia, right?
No, that one, no, I was thinking.
See, I die on any of Lisa's workouts.
No, I was thinking of the one when we shot the video, because you were like, I cannot do that
yes,
again.
no, I did stairs that day.
Oh, you had.
Oh,
yeah, that's right. So that
awesome.
was your second.
Yeah.
Okay, never mind. Never mind.
Don't do stairs and then do
a 10-minute
one of
workout.
these.
So you will see, like, when you watch the workout videos, they're set up to be really intense, and you want to. You almost don't want to be able to make it through 20 minutes. The 10 minutes, you're just like, boom. It's killer, right? It's meant to be really hard. So I'd say you can do 20 minutes, and you can do a 20-minute hit, like, intense workout, but you're going to lose a little bit of that level of intensity just based on the fact that you can't sustain it for that long. This is imagine, you're going out for a run, and you're going to run 3 miles. Well, if you're going to run 1 mile instead of 3 miles, you could probably run a lot faster knowing you don't have as far to go. Well, now, instead of 1 mile, you're running 400 meters. What happens at the end of the 400 meters? So it's like a 400 meter. That's what these workouts are like. They're like running a 400 meters, sprint it, right? So I hope that answers. Does that answer your question?
I think so.
Good.
So I typed the code in the chat window. Otherwise, I think we've covered everything that we were going to cover this evening. So I don't know if anybody has any other questions. We'll give you a couple minutes here. Other than that, we're going to wrap it up.
Yeah.
And just so you know, we're going to try to do these webinars ongoing. And then, like Lisa said, when we have individuals in the Facebook group and we get this community going, we're going to offer webinars solely to that Facebook community and really dive more deeply into some of the rules and just the areas that we complicate things.
Right.
And we'll take questions from people via that Facebook community so that we can answer your questions and we really make sure that we nail them.
Yeah, so you have, what happens is there will be ongoing questions. I mean, it is seriously simple, but then it is like you get into the mix and you're like, well, what about this? And what about this? And what about this? And that's where the community, the Facebook community, is going to be really helpful, but also that encouragement, the engagement to keep going, the support, and ultimately we're just launching this, so it's very new, and we are working on the different ways that we're going to celebrate and support our community. So yeah, this is the beginning of a beautiful thing.
It is.
Yay.
And you have been a part of it. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. Oh my gosh, you guys are like the founders of BRD along with us. Appreciate the time. Appreciate you testing as we do our first webinar, and we love you all. And I would say if there are any other questions after this, feel free to reach out to Lisa or me if you've connected through other personal channels with us, or even post to Body Redesign.
Yeah, so we have a live public Facebook page, Body Redesign Online, so make sure you like that page. If you have decided to purchase one of our programs, when you get into the membership site, you'll find an area on your sidebar that says where you can ask for access to our private Facebook community. Yeah. When you click that, it's going to open up, and you just enter your name and email. It's going to come to us, and we'll be able to add you to the community knowing that you've purchased the program. So everything's automated. If you run into any issues or situations with questions with buying the product or any problems, support at bodyredignonline.com, and you're going to get someone from our support team, which would be either her or me. That's
hopefully you get
that's when you're gonna get one of our extensive support team members. It'll be Ra or me that will be getting back to you. And yeah, I hope that you take the opportunity to get on board with our program, and thank you for joining us so much.
Thank you. Have a beautiful evening.
Yes, enjoy your Monday night. Goodbye.
Now we hit the stop broadcast button.